Pakistani court grants bail to Christian in blasphemy case. Nabil Masih, a 16-year-old Christian, was accused in 2016 of committing blasphemy in a Facebook post, a post defaming and disrespecting the Kaaba in Mecca. Accusers claim they discovered a picture on Masih's timeline depicting a pig on top of the Kaaba. Masih was convicted in 2018 and was given a 10-year prison sentence. That sentence made the then 18-year-old Masih the youngest person ever convicted of blasphemy in Pakistan, after previously serving 2 years without proper evidence. On March 1st, 2021, a Pakistani court finally awarded bail to Nabil Masih. Masih's attorney, Nasib Anjum, reminded the High Court that his client had been languishing in jail for more than 4 years without any court progress. Anjum declared that he will quickly complete the necessary paperwork and free the now 20-year-old Masih. Well, except, you know, he'd be released from incarceration. He's definitely not free. There's a big difference when you're granted bail. But yeah, the story behind this is crazy. So just as the disclaimer, I read multiple things. Some say that the blasphemous content was on Facebook. Some say it was on WhatsApp. So it's not actually completely clear to me, like, where this post was originally made. Sometimes when it kind of sounded like they were referring to WhatsApp as a Facebook platform. So it was originally posted in one of those two places. But what's crazy about this is after the people who accused him filed this case against him at the police station, Nabil was arrested by the police and charged with blasphemy. But then, so he was charged with injuring or defiling a place of worship, or insulting religion. And here's what's crazy about this. The officers stated that they removed the alleged blasphemous images from Facebook to prevent further violence. But by removing the post in question, the charges are now most difficult to prove whether Masih was guilty or innocent. Whether Masih actually posted the image himself or if he was merely tagged in the photo remains unknown. So the police destroyed the evidence to convict him, and he's just been languishing in jail ever since.
The police destroyed their own evidence. This is the one time that the police incompetence is actually a good thing to celebrate, right? No? Well, because they don't have evidence against his blasphemy.
But they're just keeping him in jail anyways. We don't even know. But that's also the evidence that would free him.
Oh, wait, okay. So yay if the evidence would have been damned him more, and boo if it would have freed him. I don't know which side would the evidence go.
Because like this thing.
Wait, what kind of police? Like, they didn't even take a screenshot before they deleted it for their own. Like, I mean, every time I delete a post, I take a screenshot off of it, and I don't even know why I do that. I just take it just in case. And you know, I don't know if it's gonna come in handy or not.
I don't know. They don't have the evidence to convict him, and he's just been stuck in jail. So.
Amazing, wow! Amazing work, police.
Hey guys, before we get back to that video, YouTube has fully demonetized our channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct, without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists, without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.
So they don't have evidence to convict him, and he's still still sat in prison for how many years?
He's been in prison for, well, incarcerated for 4 years now.
4 years. They're like, we have no evidence. Somebody accused you of blasphemy. Just sit here for 4 years. God damn it.
He may not have even posted it himself. Maybe someone just tagged him in it. We don't even know.
Oh my God. Honestly, when India, just come and take over Pakistan. Just come
This is the second week in a row you've said this.
I'm you know what? As bad as India is, it's far superior to Pakistan. Just come and baby sister country, tell her to like, it's okay. You experimented with Islam. It's time to cut it out. Just stop. Just stop. Now,
Are
okay?
you calling
Come back home.
Are you calling them a failed state?
I'm calling Pakistan. I'm calling Pakistan India's little baby sister who turned Muslim, and now India needs to come back and just be like, come back home. Just be like, stop it. Just stop. Just stop it. Oh my god,
it's a mess. And it's really tragic. So, like I said, he was the youngest person ever convicted of blasphemy in Pakistan. And the British Asian Christian Association, or BACA, began supporting Masih's legal fight to gain his release. A trustee from BACA, Juliet Chowdhury, stated that although she is happy that Masih is free on bail, she argues that Masih was only 16 years old when arrested and has lost many of his most important years of development. Which is true. Juliet Chowdhury advises that Masih deserves compensation for being falsely convicted to help him rebuild his life, and the organization plans to help him persevere. So here's where some of the confusion comes in. Quote, the forensic report proved that the alleged blasphemous post in a WhatsApp group had not been generated by Masih, who was a juvenile at the time, said attorney Nasib Anjum, adding that the police failed to fulfill the legal requirements necessary for registering the first information report, or FIR, regarding the charges of blasphemy in the first place. Quote, the police apparently registered the FIR against Masih on the pressure of clerics and the people of Kasur city, said Anjum, the defense lawyer. According to him, the accuser repeatedly delayed proceedings under pretenses while the prosecution presented zero evidence in the case so far. So it is likely that this was a false blasphemy allegation or accusation. I don't know that, but I mean, it's fairly widespread in Pakistan and often motivated by religious hatred towards minorities, particularly Christians, Hindus, and Sikhs, or just personal vendettas. However, now the question remains, what's going to happen to him when he is out of incarceration? You know, he's not free from charges. Let me be clear again, but it's very possible that he was actually safer in police custody.
You know, as bad as Pakistan is and has been for the past couple of years, it just seems like, I don't know, like, I know we're going based on stories and anecdotes, so this is just a hypothesis, not a theory, but it's getting so much worse, isn't it? Like, it seems like every year, they're like, Pakistan this year is telling Pakistan last year to hold its beer. like every year.
Something non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah, non-alcoholic beer. They have that. It's just like every year when we see like, oh my god, what the hell is happening in Pakistan? Next year we're like, can we go back to Pakistan last year? Because this is getting even more insane. Like, how far can they take this? Like, is this like a dare, or like Pakistan, like, you think we surprised you that, you know?
I
like,
mean, to be fair, this is a positive development that happened this year. This originally happened in 2016.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm referring to the number of blasphemy cases that.
Oh, that has accelerated. Like,
that has accelerated. Yeah, I mean, this happened a couple of years ago, but what you're saying right now is happening at a much higher rate every year. Like, people are just getting like it's kind of like an opera scene. Like, you're accused of blasphemy. You're accused of, everybody is accused of blasphemy.
You're a blasphemer.
Like, at first it was like the Sunnis and Shias, like, let's call all the Ahmadis blasphemers. And then the Sunnis are like, how about it's your turn, Shias? All the Shias are blasphemers.
Yeah, tens of thousands of people in the street, Shia, Kafir Shia. They're like, oh, shoot.
Wow.
Again,
guys, we don't, not all, okay, by the way, guys, don't ever think that this is a good way. It gives you an excuse to say the Shias deserve it, because the Shias' collective punishment is insane. When you see the people, like, every time you see a high number of Shias or Sunnis coming out, just remember, even though the numbers look big, that's a small percentage of the total population, right? So you can't just like wish revenge on every single Shia in Pakistan or something like that, right? But no, I mean, Pakistan's blasphemy, like, I mean, there's no worse country. I don't think there is any worse country when it comes to blasphemy, right? Like Iran and Saudi Arabia are like not even close to that.
I would have to refresh my memory of the Yusuf blasphemy report, but it is
okay. Let's be clear. Let me be clear though. When it comes to blasphemy cases, India is number one, right? But when it comes to, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to executions by the government for blasphemy, India hasn't even done that once. Every time somebody died for blasphemy in Pakistan, sorry, I said India, Pakistan. Pakistan hasn't even done that once. They've been accused, they have been on death row, but the government, even though so many people have been on death row for blasphemy in Pakistan, not a single one of them have been executed by the government yet. So far, every single person that has died for blasphemy in Pakistan has been because of mob justice rather than the government, right? So the numbers of blasphemy cases are high. A lot of people are in prison and stay in prison for a very long time for blasphemy for a long time. They get sentenced to death, but they don't get executed even though they get sentenced to death. However, like a country like Iran or Saudi Arabia has much lower number of blasphemy cases, but they actually execute the people. Like the government actually like, yeah, we actually when we put people on death sentence here, we're not kidding around. Like you're gonna get
follow through.
We're gonna well sometimes they're.
Oh wow! So Pakistan is definitely number one. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the 2020 blasphemy report from Yusuf. Well, this is for total number of incidents of mob activity, mob violence, and/or threats of mob violence, and state-enforced criminal blasphemy cases by country from 2014 to 2018. Pakistan comes in at 212. Just to give you guys some perspective, the next highest country that comes in second place is Iran with 96.
Wow, that's a huge margin. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to move on to the Rivka is having connections issues, so we'll see if she's back now.
Oh, and well, I can't show you, but there's a histogram where it shows the actual reported cases of state-enforced blasphemy cases, which is just it's around 175, and then so they have the exponentially the highest there, and then on this histogram there's another bar for mob violence, and it's around 25, but again that is exponential. Well, maybe not exponentially, but the largest in comparison to everything else in this graph. So yeah, it's just a fact that Pakistan is the worst for blasphemy cases.
Okay, Rivka, you want to say something? Unmute yourself first. Up.
Sorry. There
you go.
Sorry. This computer's acting weird. I wanted to just talk about what you were saying about being the worst and then people not being executed by the government, but being, killed by extrajudicial violence. That's what's so dangerous about these laws. And it kind of goes back to this guy who they may or may not have evidence. Maybe they lost it, but no one's not necessarily even interested in finding that out. It's as if none of that matters. You could accuse anyone at any time, and it's almost as if the accusation itself is what makes it true. And therefore, the mob feels comfortable killing these people. So evidence isn't necessarily even part of the equation. Just the accusation itself. Anyone for any reason can decide, oh, you're not wearing your hijab properly, or you laughed when I said Allah, you made fun of him, or this picture someone tagged you in that you had no knowledge of. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is the accusation itself. Then it becomes true in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, there was one case, I think, if I remember correctly, where somebody threw away some paper, and the person found out that the paper that they threw away had Muhammad written on one of the pages, and that was like enough to get you accused of a blasphemy. You could also just accuse people of blasphemy without any evidence, if you just don't like them, and see where that goes. Like, that's how dangerous it is. You could you could owe money somebody could you could owe them money and you don't want to pay them back. You're like, blasphemy! Like, hey, the police came and took away my problems. That's amazing.
Exactly. And there's some evidence to show that, for example, like Salem witch trials and other cases like this, or all of the witch burnings, a lot of them in Europe, some of them were simply, coveting property disputes over, payments. I don't like this person's different. All of those things were the actual motivators for the blasphemy, to say that this person had committed blasphemy, and then, they're out of your life.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.